What's up, y'all? It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building. I'll be breaking down an interesting fight right here. Deron Winn versus Phil Hawes. This is usually, I think these guys are opening up the main card, but usually I wouldn't, break down this. But because of the fighters and because of the little interactions I've been having with the fighters' fans, have kind of motivated me to make this video, and it actually kind of made the video kind of fun, or not the video kind of fun, event kind of fun, because besides it's not a lot of fights to look forward to, so hopefully this ends up being a banger like I think it's going to be. But yeah, man, Deron Winn versus Phil Hawes. I'll talk more about the people that have been giving me hell for picking Deron, but it is what it is. And you guys already know, if you guys watch my full card predictions, yeah, you guys do know I am picking Deron. But I'll explain more. But obviously, let's talk about the stats here. Both guys are unranked, obviously, but Phil Hawes comes with a record of 11-2. But it's out of Stanford MMA. That's in Florida. Age 32, a height of 5'6", and not 5'6". My bad. A height of 6 foot and a reach of 77.5. Deron unranked, a record of 7-2. He's fighting at a AKA, that's in San Jose, California. Also does some of his training in Gilroy, California. Age 32, a height of 5'6", and a reach of 70. So interesting enough, both guys wrestlers. Both guys have decent striking. I would say obviously Phil is the better striker, but in terms of the wrestling, you have to go Deron, man. You look at Phil's, Phil was a JUCO champion, don't get it twisted, I think in Iowa, but in terms of Deron Winn's wrestling resume, we could talk about it. Like, it's night and day. Like, it's not even, I'm sorry, but they're not even in the same level, man. Deron Winn has, has pinned guys like Kumar Usman. I know some people, they kind of go against the pin, right? They say it's kind of fluky and stuff like that. But let me search up accolades. Yeah, man. Hold up. We're gonna go. I don't know why this is taking forever. This is taking kind of forever. Let's go to Wikipedia, actually. Background in wrestling career. Yeah, let's search that up. He wrestled in Liberty High School. Dude, had a combined record of 163 wins and 6. He did wrestle at St. Louis Community College, won a JUCO championship there. And then, I think he went up to a different school, and Lindenwood University, and was a 2-time All-American over there. So he's legit. And the kid is he's good. He's a good wrestler. I would say D2 versus D1, or not D2 versus D1, D2 versus D3 basically. But the kid's a good wrestler, man. He could have continued his wrestling career if he wanted to, but I think he just wanted to do his thing. But the guys he got wins over, Jaden Cox, Pat Downey, obviously, like I said, Kumar Usman. Those are legit wrestlers, man. Legit wrestlers, and he's beating them. And a lot of people, they kind of underestimate him because he's a short guy, but man, he did his thing. And he did fail to make the summer Olympic team in 2016, so he couldn't do that. He obviously fought in different promotions like Bellator. But if we look at Phil Hawes, I think Phil Hawes was JUCO. But Phil, yes, Phil doesn't have a crazy wrestling background, but what Phil was able to do with his career is he was able to fill it with other stuff. The kid has Muay Thai experience, and not only that, he has legit Muay Thai experience. He's competed as I think a pro, as a Muay Thai fighter. Has done his thing in even some amateur boxing. He has legit real fighting experience, and that's what Phil has kind of leveled up in terms of his striking over Deron. Now Deron isn't a bad striker, but that's what kind of separates them in this matchup, is that Phil is on a different level on the feet, but Deron is on a different level on just a wrestling on the mat. Maybe it might be different when they fight, and maybe Phil dominates the wrestling transitions and the whatever you want to say, right? he might dominate that situation. You never know. It's MMA. Anything can happen. But, like, in terms, if we're just looking at stats and matchups and all that kind of stuff, right? I mean, a guy like Phil is on a different level on the stand-up, right? He really is. Working with Henry Hoof, working with those guys at Tiger Schulman's. I mean, they legit are known for their striking and their stand-up, and they're so technical, so good in the stand-up realm. But it is what it is at the end of the day. But in terms of, me just talking about this, really the story of this fight, I mean, there is a little bit of beef here. Deron Winn does feel disrespected. Phil Hawes originally had done a double booking. He had fought Kyle Dawkins on short notice and was planning to fight Deron Winn, and Deron felt super disrespected. Now Phil, he's kind of been nonchalant by saying, well, I just need the money, right? But it is what it is. You look at Deron as easy money, and a lot of people look at him as easy money. So we're gonna see what happens in this matchup. But yeah, at the same time, Deron, as much as I brought up the power gyms that Phil Hawes has been a part of, Deron Winn is a part of one of the greatest gyms of all time. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. AKA the resume we have of champions and the resume of future champions we're gonna have are just gonna be crazy. So I know all you guys, you guys are past your prime. You guys are not what you guys used to be. All that trash talking, whatever. When we match up with y'all, all right, y'all favorite little gyms, like in the main events, like I don't even like Islam right now because he's fighting Dan Hooker. But we saw what Islam did to Thiago, all right? He made him tap out, okay? Like, stop it, all right? Enough of this, all right? Like, it is what it is. The only guy y'all could beat was my boy Mowgli, and that was on short notice, so, and Billy had to cheat, he had to get him on short notice, so it is what it is. But yeah, like I'm saying, like, the two power gyms going at it, and obviously lower level guys, but two great head coaches, Henry Hoof versus Javier Mendez, and it's going to be a really, really good fight. But in terms of notable wins, obviously I would say Phil has the better, resume right now in terms of who he's beaten. He's beaten some decent guys. Kyle Dawkins, Nasruddin Amaev are really, really good guys in this middleweight division. Especially Nasruddin, after coming off that win over Ian Heinisch, is now really looking somewhat like a contender and is going to be fighting Edmund Shabazian. Kyle Dawkins, I mean, he's a decent guy. He had a kind of a crazy fight with Kevin Holland, the headbutt thing. So it kind of makes it like a good, look like a good situation. Now he hasn't fought the best guys. Jacob McQuan or McCoon or whatever his name is. I know he has a win over Al Hassan, but I mean, he was like what, I think 3-0, right? Or 4-0. I think he was 4-0, and he got knocked the fuck out. Got sent to smithereens. But yeah, he's fought some guys. Khazruddin Basayev, who was fucking 10-3. Then he fought Yuri Frey, who was 6-2, and Brave. He fought Dominic Schrober, who was 11-7. Not the best, right? But he's fighting some decent guys. But his last loss was to Julian Marquez, and we all saw what happened in that fight. I mean, he had some success, but he shot for, and he still makes the same mistake. He shot for dumb takedowns. He got himself tired, and he broke. He really just legitimately broke. And Julian Marquez just fucking ended him. It really was a Cuban Missile Crisis in that octagon. He fucking laid him the fuck out. I mean, legitimately, like, you guys can say whatever you want to say about Deron Winn, but Deron Winn has never been laid out like that. Maybe he might get laid out by Phil Hawes, but Phil looked dead. He looked like he was getting ready to get put in a fucking casket. You know what I'm saying? Like, it looked like everyone in the goddamn arena at the Dana White Contender Series should have been wearing black clothes because there was a dead man in that octagon. My boy Fuego, I'll talk more about you. Obviously, we look at Deron Winn, right? I mean, in his notable ones, obviously he has lost to some guys, right? And people put that against him and put that over his head. But I mean, he's fought some really decent guys like Tom Lawler, Eric Spicely, and I know some people are like, oh, Eric Spicely's a bum. Eric Spicely has a win over Thiago Santos. Submitted him too, I think, in the second round. And obviously it was at middleweight, but still he beat Thiago. And that wasn't, hey, it is what it is. Well, look at what Thiago's doing right now. He's winning boring main events against Johnny Walker. He does have that loss to Darren Stewart, but in my humble opinion, I thought he won that fight. It was a split decision. He did lose to Gerald Meerschaert, which was kind of like a bad loss at the time. But I mean, you look at what Gerald has done to Makhmed Muradov, and then I forgot the other Polish guy he submitted. But yeah, he's on 2-fight win streak. Yeah, he did lose to Khamzat Chimaev, but Gerald's a very, very solid guy. And I even think Gerald will give Phil Hawes problems. Like, I really do believe that. I'm not really too sold on Phil. I kind of liked him, but after just seeing the Julian Marquez fight and the Nasruddin Amaya fight, I see a lot of holes in his game. And, he doesn't, like, the kid, he talks about, like, how Izzy unfollowed him. And I don't like Titty Boy. Y'all know me. Evil Titty Boy Adesanya. I don't like that guy. Right? Y'all know it. I've never been a fan of him. But to say that guy's thinking about you when he's the champ, like, come on, bro. Like, use your brain. But then, obviously, Deron comes back with that victory with Antonio Roy. I think got 11 takedowns. Got so many takedowns. Obviously, the issue with my issue with that performance was the control, and he didn't have a lot of control. But he got the W. He got a lot of takedowns, and you could see just the different level of wrestling. He has decent hands. I would say he's more of a boxer in there. When he in the stand up, Phil is probably gonna try to take advantage of the kicks, and he is more of a kicking game. And Phil has good hands too. He uses a lot of feints and stuff. Both guys use a lot of feints. I would say Deron is more light on his feet than Phil. Phil kind of plants his foot and kind of like almost lunges for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I shouldn't say lunge for it, but when he like does that up and down movement, he kind of goes straight forward for you and tries to like cut angles and fucking knock you out. That's kind of Phil's game. But I mean, he's super chinny. He's a glass cannon, honestly. If I'm being honest, Fuego says it best. But yeah, I'm here to talk about Fuego here. Probably the one guy that motivated me to make this video. This guy's been talking so much mess about Deron, and it is what it is, right? But he's been saying that, Deron's gonna get knocked out and there's gonna be a barcode on his gravestone or whatever, or he's a bum and this and that and all that rah. But you don't want to talk about when Julian Marquez sent your boy to the goddamn Shadow Realm. Okay, you don't want to talk about when Phil Hawes could barely even fucking stand when Nasruddin Amaya touched that chin and he had to do all that goddamn laying and praying, right? You don't want to talk about that. You also don't want to talk about when Kyle Daukaus almost smoked him, all right? If you look in the second round, he wobbled him too. This guy got no fucking chin, all right? It's just a fact. He's all offense, and, Fuego loves to talk about glass cannons. He loves to talk about glass cannons, but he never brings them up. I wonder why, Fuego. I wonder why. So, it is what it is. Y'all already know, a.k.a. been whooping on these bums, all right? Let's not forget the history books, all right? When Daniel Cormier went in there, and this reminds me a lot of this matchup, against Rumble Johnson, DC versus Rumble. I remember this in high school. When I was in high school and everyone was doing all this talking about Rumble this, Rumble that, and it was like, they gonna beat my boy DC. You know what we did to that dude? We made him look like a baby in there. Broke him, made him quit, and we're gonna do the same thing. I don't think Deron has the submission ability of DC, but that's how I look at this matchup. Obviously, Deron just needs to wrestle. He needs to put a pace on this guy. This guy gets tired. Deron sometimes gets tired, but he doesn't get as tired as him. And I think Deron could just go to another place that Phil can't go. And when I'm talking about that place, I'm talking about the trenches. I'm talking about overtime. I'm talking about that shit where, when things are on the line and you got to work. I think Deron's going to push this guy, and I see a third round TKO. Phil can win. Obviously, Deron he's been, I wouldn't say chinned before, but he's been hurt. Gerald hurt him in the third round. But and obviously his feints are really good. I give him a lot of credit of that. And, the kicking game, he can really destroy Deron with using really good takedown defense and throwing a lot of leg kicks and with good striking. He can break Deron that way, but I just don't think he can. I don't think he got the heart. I don't think he got the heart to break my boy Deron. So I got to take Deron win by third round TKO via ground and pound. I think he takes him down, breaks him. Almost very, very Rumble versus DC-esque. And Fuego's going to be crying. But it is what it is. Love y'all. And goodbye. And we're going to put this boy in the MMA bum jail, Phil Hawes. And you almost forgot. Phil Hawes is a fruitcake, man. I know IG's, it's been tripping lately. And I wish I could show you that video. But if IG, goes back to normal, I'll show you. This dude, man, go look at his IG. You'll find it. He acting like a fruitcake on there. Doing goddamn booty poses. All right? Deron ain't losing to this goddamn fruitcake. All right, y'all got it twisted, fruit pop or whatever you want to call him. It is what it is. I got to go with Deron. I'm taking Deron win by third round TKO. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram. Don't forget to follow me on my Twitter. It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building. Love y'all and goodbye.